Hey guys, we are back. It is Retro Nate here with another Rumble Rivals video for you. Gonna show you guys how to build the best decks you can out of Arenas 1, 2, and 3 cards that are available to you. So right as you're starting the game, you just downloaded it, you're ready to get into your first battle, you're gonna have these cards available to you. I'm gonna show you how to use those best so you can climb the ladder, do that trophy push, unlock lots of rewards, and make your way real successful here in Rumble Rivals. As well, if you guys just grabbed the game, or even if you've had it for a while, I've got a promo code for you that you can use for a free diamond chest. Just go into the settings menu, click on redeem code, and put in code RETRORUMBLE. That's RETRORUMBLE, and that's a free reward from me to you just for grabbing the game. Let's get into it. The best decks from Arenas 1 through 3. Alright, so what deck are we building for Arena 1? Well, I've already got it preloaded here. Let's swing over to it, and boom! We see it. We've got it loaded up here at the top of the screen. And I'm going to take you through each of these cards here for Arena 1's deck, the way that I see building a nice deck. So in Arena 1, you're going to be given your hero of Medusa. That's static, and you're going to utilize her in the course of battle. But the 5 cards that I would use are across the top there. It's Porcupine, Volt, Cobra, Cyclops, and Ice. And let me just take you through each of these. The 2 I would leave out, first of all, are going to be Fire Dragon. Even though Fire Dragon has a nice little ability of being able to include area damage in their attack, I think they're a little bit too weak to be as effective early in this game. The other one I'm leaving out is Archer. Archer is a single damage, first target attack unit, but I've got some other options on how I'm going to take care of that with this deck. So first we're getting into it with Porcupine. Porcupine's ability is they're going to throw spiked traps all over the field, and they just stay there basically until an enemy runs into them. That's a really nice card to have early on, just to plant the whole path with traps that kind of act as a failsafe in case your units are not leveling up fast enough in the course of battle or whatever else. So Porcupine, a really nice unit here. They never expire, and they have explosive traps which do a heck of a lot of damage. You can see mine is level 10, and we're looking at over 1100 damage for an explosive trap. Pretty good. So we're going to put them out there first. The second unit that I'm going to use is Volt. Volt has the ability to attack 3 units at one time, so they deal 100% damage to the first one, 70% to the second one, and 40% to the third one in line. So you're always thinning out a couple of troops or a couple of enemies every time you use Volt and every time they attack. So they're a really nice unit to load up a couple of, maybe 4 or 5 units on the battlefield could all be Volt at varying merge rank levels, and they provide a nice little base of attack for you. To me, the MVP of Arena 1 is Cobra. Cobra, especially paired with one other unit later in this deck, but Cobra's ability is that they poison the monsters coming down the path, and then every second they do more poison damage. And when you level this card up, I'm going to take it up to 5 real quick. I mean, I have mine at level 9, yours will be lower likely if you're just starting, but you're doing a pretty good amount of damage every second to these units just by poisoning them early, and you only need one of these units on the field to be effective. If you get this up to merge rank, let's say 3, real quick, yeah, something like that, they're shooting 3 times per second. That's enough to poison every monster in line so that they're bleeding damage the whole way down the path. Really nice unit to use in level 1. I think you can get a lot of wins with it. And then number 4, the 4th one I'm going to use is Cyclops. I personally don't like Cyclops. I think they're overrated, but in this deck, or in Arena 1, I would use them just because their single target attack damage can get up to 500 per hit, which is pretty useful. As you see here, their damage, basically what their ability is that every consecutive hit on an enemy increases the damage on that enemy up to 500 damage per attack on an enemy. So they have the ability to really be the strongest unit as long as they're fighting a high damage target. Really good on bosses and mini bosses in that case. And even when they're at the lowest level, 100, mine's at level 8 here, but 150 damage per target to start, pretty good. It's an epic card. It's a little more rare to get. Again, if you didn't catch that promo code in the beginning of the video, go back and get it. You might get it right out of the gate. And then the last one I'm going to use is Ice. And Ice is a nice one just to provide another failsafe to slow down units so they don't progress down the path as much. Really nice to pair with Cobra, because every extra second that a monster's on the field, they're taking more damage if they're getting poisoned by Cobra. So that is the deck that I would use. I'm going Arena 1 is Porcupine, Volt, Cobra, Cyclops, and Ice. My hero is going to be Medusa, and her ability is to just freeze everything on the field and I'm pretty sure it weakens them as well. So immediately applies, in this case, I've got at level 8, 27% damage to everything on the field when she freezes everybody. Helpful against bosses, helpful when you're getting overrun on your side. And the whole name of the game is just last as long as you can. I think this deck will do that for you. All right, we're back now with the Arena 2 deck that you guys should be using. And as you can see, I got it up on my screen already. I have changed out a lot of the units from Arena 1. In fact, all but one of them. The cards that you unlock in Arena 2 are Mana Pool, Scary Crow, Maniac, Blizzard, Switcheroo, and Pirate. You also unlock a new hero in Robin Hood, who is right here, looking completely not creepy at all. I would definitely let my children get into a van with that guy. Anyway, I'm going to swap out pretty much all of the units from Arena 1, Arena 1's deck, because there are a lot of good cards in Arena 2 that I want to use, especially a pair near the end. So one of the cards is actually a legendary. It's one of the first legendaries that you get in the game. I think after the 7-day challenges, you can earn your way to getting the Maniac. Maniac's ability is that he's going to deal damage proportional to the amount of unused mana that you have. So as you accumulate mana during the course of a battle, their attack power gets higher. He's one that I would use probably for easily throughout Arena 2. He's just got a pretty good high damage amount as a baseline, and then it can only get better from there. The next unit I'm using is Pirate, and Pirate's ability is to stun enemies as they walk down that path. So Ice, while they slow down enemies, Pirate's going to straight up stun them and leave them there for, it looks like, geez, about 4 or 5 seconds for each enemy that they stun. This is a great unit because you only really need one of them on the field at like a nice high merge rank, maybe around merge rank 3, and they fire enough shots to be able to stun a bunch of units and leave them there. But the reason I like them over Ice is they do a lot more damage. They're in like the 125 damage range. For this one I have at level 9. I actually need to upgrade them. But this one I have at level 9. When you get them up to mana level 5, 124 damage per hit. Pretty good. They fire pretty quickly, so a little bit more useful in terms of attack than Ice is. That's why I prefer that one. I'm leaving Cobra where it is. Cobra's a great foundational piece to just poison guys early and let them bleed out as they go down the line, making them weaker and letting your other units finish them off. Now, the two that I'm going to introduce into this deck from Arena 1 is I'm going to introduce the Switcheroo, which is on its own, like in and of itself, not a great unit, but it's really functional in terms of supporting other ones that are out there. And I'll get to that in a minute. But what they do is allow you to switch positions on the battlefield with any other unit of the same rank. So putting a 1-star Switcheroo down on the field and a 1-star Ice, for example, you can move that unit around as you see fit. And the reason that's important is because of this one, Scary Crow, which is the Arena 2 epic that you can unlock. What they do is they have a circle of crows that hover around them, and it will attack every unit that is on the path that it encircles. So by putting these on the border of the path, they become really powerful. That's why you want the Switcheroo in there along with it. They do a really high number of damage per attack. As you can see, if I level mine up, it's a level 9 now. We're looking at 670 per strike, and those crows fly overhead and they're going to hit every enemy that's in the row. As well, if you merge these, you're going to get an extra crow in that rotation, so a lot faster orbiting time and a lot faster attack damage for these two. Really useful unit. You can put them right on the edges of your battlefield, and then they're going to thin out that herd for you. So Arena 2 deck, let's go over it again. It's Maniac, Pirate, Cobra, Switcheroo, and Scary Crow. That wraps Arena 2. All right, Arena 3 time now. We're going to look at our last deck that we're going to be building with cards available from Arena 3. I've got it loaded up on my phone up here, and as you can see, we've swapped out a couple more units. We're keeping a couple, swapping a couple. Okay, in Arena 3, you're going to unlock the Voodoo Witch, 7 Dwarfs, Ninja, Ranger, Mana Balloon, and Grim Rapper. And you're also going to unlock the hero of Monkey King, which, you know, he seems like a pretty well-adjusted individual. All right. We're not going to use Monkey King. We're sticking with Medusa right through Arenas 1 through 3. So you can keep her locked in as your hero for these. But swapping out now, we're going to go ahead with this deck. And the first unit we're going to use is Ninja. Nice part about Ninja is that every time your opponent merges, you're going to gain strength. So getting one of these ninjas out early and getting it at like a nice merge rank of level 3 perhaps, something like that, and just leaving it on the board is a really great strategy because you can just let it sit there and accumulate damage. Once it's up to mana level 5, you're talking 140 damage, but then it's adding 40 every single time that you merge. Mine's at level 10. Whatever level you're going to be at, it doesn't really matter. Just the ability to continue to get stronger as your opponent merges units is just really, really valuable. Love the Ninja as a common card to start your deck here. We're going to keep the Pirate. It's got a great stun effect. Love the damage that it provides. We went over that in Arena 2. New card that we're going to add to this one now is the Ranger. Ranger is the epic that, based on how far away it is from the target, it's going to do more damage. So basically its damage level is pretty low as targets get closer to it, but the further away it is, it's going to do 10 times its normal amount of damage. So we're talking in the 300 to 400 range for every shot as soon as you get it to mana level 5. The reason that I like bringing in Ranger is because you've already got Switcheroo out there to reposition your Scary Crows. You can do the same with Ranger. So now you can really set up an ideal deck where you're going to probably want to put those Rangers on the far outside of your field, far away from where monsters start heading down the path, so that you can take them out a little bit quicker, and then as it gets tougher, you know, move them around as you need, keep enough Switcheroos. And then we're going to keep Switcheroo and Scary Crow in place. I personally would not use Voodoo Witch at this point, even though it's a really valuable legendary card and I use it in my deck now. I just don't think you have the supporting units in Arena 3 to be able to use her effectively, so I would keep her on the bench for a little while. Same with Seven Dwarfs. Seven Dwarfs is good. I actually don't have it. I didn't use it to advance to where I am now, but because it's so tough to use, because you have to have the right number of units on the field, if you don't have like Chameleon or Joker or something to help make sure that you always have the effective number of Seven Dwarfs on the field, it actually becomes kind of a nuisance. So I would guard against using that until you have some supporting units that actually help. One thing I would say, Grim Rapper is overused and, in my opinion, really not worth it. What they have is the ability to like instant kill someone on the path, but really low damage. So if they're not actually hitting that effect, they're only doing like 150 damage. They don't attack very fast. I think Grim Rapper's a big waste of resources. I much prefer the deck that I've given you. Ninja, Pirate, Ranger, Switcheroo, and Scary Crow as your 5 for Arena 3. That's it, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps you as you're playing Rumble Rivals. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as leave a comment with what you agreed with, maybe what you didn't like. Let me know what you thought. I can't wait to talk to you again.